Hello friends, welcome to KPK Tech World. In this video, I'm going to show you how a simple program can be executed in this 8-bit computer. In the last video, I've shown you that this 8-bit computer was built with the basic hardware architecture. In this video, I have added the control unit for this computer. I have added some flags register over here, and the display unit is fully functional. So we are going to see how a simple addition and a subtraction is going to work in this computer. I wrote a simple code that can be executed in this hardware. So the first thing that we are going to do is clear all the values in the memory and reset the computer, and then we are going to load some instruction. So this part of the code is the instruction. We have three set of instruction and three data values. I'm going to input 80, 20, 30 and do a simple addition as a subtraction with using this code. And I also will show you how the subroutines or the microcode will work in this computer. Now I'm going to do everything manually, and in the future I'm going to put two EPROMs just like the one here, which will use a combinational logic which will take these instructions and do these micro instructions by itself, and thereby doing the computational work in the CPU. So let's start. So I'm going to have to reset everything, and I have to now bring every registers to their normal. I'm going to reset all the registers. Register. Yeah. So these are our indicators here. I made a small here. So here the first LED indicates instruction register, and the second register will indicate RAM out. Third is RAM in, memory address register input, halt, A register in out, instruction register in, counter out, output register in, B register in, the subtract, sum out, counter out, jump, and flag register. So first thing that we need to do is load A. Load A, we have to go to our memory address location 0. In decimal it is 0 as well, and we need to put this data in memory address 0. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to memory address 0, that is memory address 0, and in memory address 0 I'm going to put this data, which is 0001 1011. So that is I have reset all the registers, and we have let me stop the clock and let me go into program mode. There is some information. I put this information 0001 1011. So this first the lower 4 bits is going to be our memory address location, and the top 4 bits are going to be the instruction for our CPU. But today I will do it manually and show you. So that is in our memory address location 0. Now let us go to memory address location 1. In memory address location 1, we need to put this information 0010 1100 0010 1100. So to define what I'm doing right now, I'm accessing the memory address location, and I'm putting the instruction in those memory address location. So I have 64-bit RAM of one static RAM, and I have put two static RAMs over here, and we have 128 bit. So we can, and this is 8-bit RAM, 4 into 2. So we have in total 16 locations of RAM. So the first 3 locations are going to be my instruction. The 11th location, 12th and 13th location are going to be my data. And it starts with 0 index. So we are in the index 1. Now we need to go to index 2. So to go to index 2, and there is some random value. Again, I'm going to put the data, this data in index 2, or memory address location 2, 00111101. So that is in memory address location 2. Yeah, and now I need to put this data in memory address location 11. So I need to go to memory address location 1, that is 1011. And in 1011 I need to put 0101, 0101 and all zeros. 0101 and 4 zeros is 80. That is going to be our data A. And I need to go to memory address location 12. That is memory address location 12. And in memory address location 12, I'm going to put a data of 20. That is 000100100. That is actually 20. If I have to show you, I'm just going to put the RAM out. This RAM out. I'm sending the data from our RAM to the bus, and if I do a clock cycle, you can see that 20 over here. And I'm going to next go to memory address location 13. That is 1101. And I'm going to put a data 00011110. That is 30. We can see 30 over here. That is coming from our RAM. If we go to address location 11, 10. It's a little difficult over here. 1011. Oh, sorry, I mistakenly added 30 over here. I need to again program this 10101 and all zeros. That is 80 over here. You can see. So in address location 11, we have 80. Address location 12. Let's see what is there. It's 20. In address location 13, we have a 30. So that's fine. So our computer, our data instruction is set. Now we need to execute this instruction with the program data. So let's start. So to start with, first I need to bring everything to normal. That is, reset all the registers, output, RAM, the bus. So everything is in the off state. Now the first thing we need to do is counter out, counter enable, counter out, and memory address input. So first thing is counter enable. So counter enable is this 9th LED. So this 9th LED corresponds to this pin. I'm going to make this pin high. So this will enable the counter. Once I start the clock, if I start the clock, the counter starts counting. I'm going to do it manually, so I'm going to make it I'm going to pulse it through manual clocks so that we can see every instruction, how it starts to execute. So next thing is counter out. So this is counter out. This is counter out. Now the counter should be coming to our bus. Let's check that. See, the counter, when it starts counting, it is coming to our bus. whatever the counter counts, it is now in the bus. So now we can transfer this to memory address register input. That's what I'm going to do. So memory address input is this pin 4. So this I'm going to make it high. You see, no, that's not happening. Memory address input. Reset. Let me see what's going on. So when the computer is in programming mode, this red LED indicates the computer is in programming mode, and when I set the computer in run mode, now we see that our counter is counting, and that data is going to the bus, and from the bus it is read to the memory address register input, and when the memory address register is 1, we get the data from our RAM, and whichever data it points to, that data is shown in our RAM. I can do this. I can put this in manual mode. I'll reset everything. So if I go to 0, we are now in location 0. So location 0 must have this data that we programmed as an instruction, which is 0001 1011. Yes, let me go to that 0 has just come here. Now we are in the address location 1. So in address location 1, we need to have a data 0010 1100. Yes, we have that. If I go to address location 2, we need to have 0011 1101. Yes, we have that data. And if I advance it, and if I go to address location 11, let's forget whatever is in between 8 9 10 11. We need to have this data value 80. Let's see if we have that 0101 0000. Yeah, we have that. And if you go to address location 12 0001 0100, yes. And the next location, that is 13 0001 110, we have that. So our data and instruction is perfect. Now we have successfully done the first operation, the first subroutine. Now we can move on to the second subroutine, but before we move to the second subroutine, that is this the cycle or this stage, now we need to reset everything, bring all the state to normal. So first let me do that. I will bring all the registers normal. That is, all this LED should be off, as simple as that. So everything is off. So now what we need to do is RAM out instruction register input. RAM out is this second one. We have RAM out powered up, and then the next thing is instruction register input. Instruction register, it is over here in 8. This input, if I put this, so we have these two now done. Now I need to reset. I made a small mistake here because I advanced the clock and the register is counter is pointing to a different location. I need to repeat this. I will do this quickly. So we are in this stage 2 now. I'm going to advance the clock. So we have that information over here. RAM out, you can see here instruction register input. See this data 0001 1011, that is in our instruction register. The RAM has sent the data to the bus, and that bus is now inputting the data to our instruction register. Here the data is in two parts. It is a little difficult to see from the camera. There's this yellow LED that is powered up, and the blue LED is overlapping this yellow, but the instruction is here. Now this instruction, if you see, I have hardwired it to the control unit. When the control unit is in place, the EEPROM, it will understand this register, that is 10, instruction 1011, and for 1011, this is our instruction, and that will do the rest of the subroutines. So now I'm going to go to the next level. Now again reset and then do this. next clock cycle. Again, bring them all to the normal state. Everything is off. So instruction register out. Instruction register out is this first one. And then memory address input. Memory address input is fourth pin. This one. We have them coming up. So if I advance the clock, yes, we have that memory address coming into our memory address, and we have the data 80. If you see, it is there over here, and from our RAM, this is our data, and we can see that the memory address location is there. Now again reset and move on to the fourth stage or cycle, that is RAM out and register A input. Now as simple as that. Now we need to take this data to register A. So I'm going to do that. Again reset everything. And now we are ready for the fourth clock fourth cycle. RAM out, register A input. RAM out is this one, and register A is pin 6. Pin 6 is this one. Now if I advance the clock, that data should be, this 80 should be coming to register A. Let's see. Yes, we have that. Perfect. We have the data 80 in register A, and you can also witness that as soon as we get a data in our register A, we can see that the ALU is instantaneously computing and giving an output. Because there is 80 over here and 0 over here, and we are on the by default on the addition of ALU, I mean the registers, we get 80 plus 0 is 80. So the first load A operation is complete. Now we can move on to the second load B. So like I told you, the ALU is always doing this arithmetic. So the moment we put a data in register B, we can see that the ALU will do a arithmetic and will give us an output. So the load B and addition operation are going to be simultaneous. So the same instruction, if you look at here, the first three clock cycles, or the first three cycles micro instruction are going to be the same. That is, we're going to counter enable, counter out, memory address input, reset, and RAM out, instruction register input, instruction register output, and memory address input, and RAM out. Instead of loading the register A, we're going to load register B, and the moment I load register B, we get an output, and I'm going to take this output to the display unit. In fact, this display unit is always connected to the bus. I haven't made such that I have to do another operation to take the display unit from any of the data from the bus to the display unit. So this operation is more for the control unit when it is in place. I'm going to quickly go through this and I'm going to advance the video. Now we can see that our data value 010100 010100, that is 20. You can also see in the display unit, because it is always connected to the data, the bus, that is showing the value 20. So this is instantaneously computed by the ALU, and we can see this data, which is nothing but 100. How it is 100? I have gone through these subroutines, and I'm in this stage, which is fifth cycle. Now if I sum out and advance the clock, the 100 should be shown in our display unit. Let me do this last action. Again, reset everything. And sum out is this pin. In is always on. Yes, we can see that 100 in our display unit. So that is the data over our ALU. So we have successfully done the first arithmetic operation of adding 80 plus 20 by using our load A, load B, and execute A plus B using using this subroutines or microcodes. On these microcodes, we used 4 clock cycle for the first load A and 5 clock cycle to load B as well as to addition. Continuing from here, I'm going to do another operation, which is subtract A minus B, that is 80 minus 30. Let's see how it goes. We already have this 80 in our register A, so we do not have to repeat this subroutines. We can directly take the data from memory address location 13, that is 30, and input to the register B, and then we can output that whatever value to our display unit. And we need to, instead of doing addition is default, but here we need to enable subtract bit from here. We have a subtract bit here, that is pin 12. If I enable this pin, we will have a subtract operation in our ALU, and then we can display that value to our display unit. So I'm going to do that quickly. So we have 30 in our register B and 80 in our register A. Now this is there is only addition that is happening in our ALU. This should be 110. Just to check. Just for a moment, put the sum output to the bus. See, there is 110 in our bus. Now what I'm going to do is, instead of doing an addition, I said I have to do a subtraction, and I'm going to do just that, show you just that. So I'm going to enable the subtract bit. Now if I advance the clock, there you go. So 80 minus 30, that is 50, that is shown in our display unit. So this is very clear. I hope this is very clear to you, how the entire subroutine and the microcode ran in our hardware, and how our instruction and the data was processed. So this is a simple explanation of how computers work, and how your high-level language code, be it Python, Java, C++, C Sharp, be it any code, it translates into something called as machine language, and it is nothing but binary. Your compilers and assemblers do this job, and they convert them into this kind of logic, and this microcode is what is run in your processor, and your control unit in the processor controls various modules in your computer, and by switching on and off all these different modules, you get the data in and out, and the final output is shown in the display unit. So Here, one more information I like to share is that all this may look a little complicated, but finally, if you look at what I simply did was enable or disable these inputs that can be understood as 0 or 1. So I can eventually develop a truth table for all of these instructions, and based on this truth table I can program a EEPROM, and that can do this controlling function. Hope you have a better idea of how computer works, and this helps you. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.